I'm just going to jump into it. The joint convention will come to order. Thank you. The senator from 4th Middlesex, Ms. Friedman, has filed an order which the clerk will read.
Order that a committee be appointed to consist of members of the Senate and House of Representatives to wait upon or honor the Lieutenant Governor, the constitutional officers, members of the Executive Council, and other distinguished guests of the Governor, and inform them that the two branches are now in convention and request the honor of their presence.
The question comes on adoption of the order. All those in favor say aye, opposed nay. The ayes have it, and the order is adopted. The committee on the part of the Senate is as follows. Senator Sear of Cape and Islands, Senator Kennedy of 1st Worcester, Senator Roush of Norfolk, Worcester, and Middlesex, Senator Oliveira of Hamden, Hampshire, and Worcester, and Senator Fatman of Worcester and Hamden.
The committee to notify the Lieutenant Governor, the constitutional officers, members of the Executive Council, on behalf of the House, Rep. Lenatra of Kingston, Rep. Scanlon of North Attleboro, Rep. Kilcoyne of Clinton, Rep. John Moran of Boston, Rep. Sousa of Framingham, Rep. Kane of Shrewsbury, Rep. Meridian of Grafton.
Thank you. The committee will form in the well of the chamber and proceed to the governor's office under the escort of the sergeant at arms. The joint convention will be in a brief recess. The joint convention will come to order. Admit the honorable committee. Yes, Senator Sear.
The joint committee has gone before the Lieutenant Governor and informed her that the joint convention is assembled and ready for the Governor and Lieutenant Governor to discuss.
Thank you very much for your hard work. You are now discharged from these duties, and we will continue. Thank you very much. The joint committee will be in a brief recess.
Madam President!
Admit the Sergeant at Arms.
Madam
The joint
President!
convention will come to order.
Madam President! We're on Lieutenant Governor Kim Crystal.
Admit the Lieutenant Governor, the constitutional officers, Executive Council, and our distinguished guests. Please have your seats and come to order. Now, I will now ask the Most Reverend Richard G. Henning, Archbishop of Boston, to deliver the invocation. Thank you.
Is there a way to get their attention, or?
You want to do it?
No, that's all right. Let us pray.
That'll do it.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, for through your goodness we receive the beauty of creation and find sustenance in the bounty of land and sea. We praise you this night for the blessings of liberty and for the gift of a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We give you praise for calling forth leaders from among us, and we ask your blessing upon Governor Maura Healey, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Senate President Spilka, House Speaker Mariano. We ask your blessing upon our congressional delegation, our state legislators, Chief Justice Budd, and all justices and officers of the courts, and all of the elected officials of this state and in the counties, cities, towns, and villages across Massachusetts. We pray for first responders and all those who give themselves to public service. Give wisdom to our governor and to all of our leaders that they may see beyond appearances and apply their gifts to maintain the peace and foster the common good. Give them listening hearts and an abiding commitment to preserve liberty, promote justice, and practice mercy. We ask your blessing upon the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. As a people, e pluribus unum, out of many one, we give you thanks for the gift of the many and varied communities of this state, and we ask the grace of unity and diversity. Help us to see and hear one another with humility and understanding. Inspire us to build up rather than to tear down. May our hands be open in friendship and our hearts full with compassion. May our communities and citizens be ever committed to the education and formation of the young and to the loving care of those who are sick, elderly, or infirm. Open our eyes to every kind of poverty and strengthen us to accompany and assist each other in any and all struggles and despair. Bring forth in us the better angels of our nature and make of us a society where the widow, the orphan, and the stranger find a home. Teach us to turn away from selfishness and to ask what we might do for our nation and for our Commonwealth. Bless our industry and labor, and if it is in accord with your holy will, grant us prosperity so that we may praise your bounty and employ such gifts to exercise charity, craft beauty, and offer opportunity. Author of life, yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Your everlasting love is our greatest hope and our most fundamental calling. Reveal to us the sacred dignity of every person and help us to protect and cherish the gift of life. Make of us a more perfect union and a commonwealth where faith, hope, and love abound. We ask this in all things with confidence in divine providence and through your holy name, you who live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Archbishop, for your wise words, and we will take all the blessings we can get during these times. Thank you. The senator from Norfolk and Middlesex, Ms. Cream, has offered an order which the clerk will read.
Order that a committee be appointed to consist of members of the Senate and the House of Representatives to wait upon Her Excellency the Governor and inform her that the two branches are now in convention for the purpose of receiving such communication as she may be pleased to make to them relating to the concerns of the Commonwealth.
The question comes on adoption of the order. All those in favor say aye, opposed no. The ayes have it, and the order is adopted. The committee on the part of the Senate is as follows. Senator Brownsberger of Suffolk and Middlesex, Senator Lovely of 2nd Middlesex, Senator Creighton of 3rd Middlesex, Senator Comerford of Hampshire, Franklin, and Worcester, and Senator Dooner of Bristol and Plymouth.
On behalf of the House, Rep. Garbely of Arlington, Rep. Duffy of Holyoke, Rep. Hamilton of Methuen, Rep. Arriaga of Chicopee, Rep. Worrell of Boston, Rep. Smola of Warren, and Rep. Wong of Saugus.
Thank you. The committee will meet in the well of the House chamber and be escorted by the Sergeant at Arms. The convention will be in recess. Thank you. The convention will come to order. Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, constitutional officers, member of the Executive Council, my colleagues in the legislature, on behalf and distinguished guests, on behalf of myself and the speaker, it is an honor to welcome you to this historic chamber to receive the State of the Commonwealth address from our Governor, Maura Healey. As we gather tonight to hear from the governor, I want to express my gratitude for all of your partnership, and I look forward to another very, very productive session. I do want to take this opportunity to take a moment to remind folks that we are expecting a major snowstorm this weekend, larger than anything we have seen in 10 years. Please make sure you are safe and warm. And if you have neighbors or friends that are elderly, disabled, or may be in need, please check on them. We pride ourselves in being a Commonwealth. We take care of our people. Thank you. With us this evening are a number of very distinguished guests, including former Governor William Weld, former Governor Michael Dukakis, former Senate President Therese Murray, former Senate President Stanley Rosenberg. He's not here? Okay. Former Speaker Robert D. DeLeo. Our Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice Kimberly Budd. Appeals Court Chief Justice Amy Blake. Trial Court Chief Justice Heidi Brieger. And we have many of our great district attorneys and sheriffs. And up in the gallery, I know that we have with us today many mayors representing cities from great states, great cities across the Commonwealth. Thank you for welcoming them, and I'd also like us to give a warm round of applause to welcome First Lady Joanna Lidgate as well. as well as the family and friends of the whole Healey family. Thank you. At this time, I like to request the posting of the colors. The colors will be posted by the Lynn English High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC. It is now my great honor to invite the Gold Star families and the gentleman from Barnstable, Mr. Exaros, to the rostrum to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Watch your step. This is the.
Thanks. Very sweet of you.
This is my name right here.
Oh, wow. Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you all. We are honored tonight to have Vanessa Ford of Springfield with us to perform the national anthem. Vanessa, would you please come up to the rostrum? It's all yours.
Whose broad stuff and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. God bless you.
Thank you, Vanessa, for that spectacular rendition. I think everybody woke up and is wide awake now. What an incredibly amazing voice. Wow. Thank you so much. I now ask that we retire the colors. Thank you. As the group departs, let's all thank the Lynn English High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC.
Madam President, a committee of the Honorable Joint Session.
The joint convention will come to order. Admit the honorable committee.
Madam President,
Yes.
we have informed the governor that we are assembled.
Thank you. The chair thanks the committee for this very important work that you just did, and you are discharged from your duties, and the convention will be in a brief recess. Thank you so much. Could you please clear the aisles? Please take your seats and clear the aisles. A little bit, it's working. Okay. Okay. We are honored to admit Her Excellency Maura Healey, Governor of the Commonwealth. Want to put it here? No. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Is there a pen up here? We are so pleased to welcome the governor for the state of the Commonwealth. The joint convention will now come to order, and it is my great honor to introduce Her Excellency Maura Healey, the Governor of the Great Commonwealth, to deliver the State of the Commonwealth address.
Thank you very much, okay? Thank you. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Massachusetts. Let me, thank you, thank you. Let me start with something that's on our minds, all of our minds right now. Let's go Patriots, right? Let's go Patriots. I think it's okay. We got a lot of snow coming. I think it's okay. They're in Denver. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great week here. Senate President Spilka, Speaker Mariano, Speaker Pro Tem Hogan, Speaker Mariano, who I know is watching at home tonight, Leader Tarr, Leader Jones, and everyone in this legislature, thank you for our work together. We also have some empty seats tonight in the chamber, and tonight I want to remember special people we lost just this year, Senator Ed Kennedy and Representative Ann Margaret Ferrante, folks who are great public servants who served with passion and dedication, and they will be missed. Thank you. Thank you to our constitutional officers, members of the judiciary, and governors, counselors. Thank you to the former governors who are joining us here tonight, Governor Weld and Governor Michael Dukakis. Mayor Wu and all of our mayors and local officials, we see you. Look, you know, you're always going to have a partner in the Healey Driscoll administration. And speaking of Driscoll, let's hear it for our Lieutenant Governor, Kim. Let me say something. I know I gotta go, but this is important. Listen, Kim Driscoll is the best teammate anyone could have in government. And I hear she's pretty good on the pickleball court as well. Let's hear it for all our friends in labor who are working to keep the Commonwealth running every single day. And let's hear it. And let's hear it for our business community, the innovators, the researchers, the entrepreneurs who help create the jobs and power our economy. And in a time when so many people are feeling anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, they're turning to God and churches and temples and houses of worship. And I want to thank the faith leaders for all that they provide and comfort in this time. Thank you. Joanna and our families, thank you for your love and support. Members of our military, veterans, and Gold Star families, everything we have, everything we do is possible because of you. This year, America celebrates a milestone, 250 years since our founding. Well, Massachusetts, that story began here. That's because people of Massachusetts put everything they knew on the line and stood up to fight for what they believe in. Farmers, carpenters, shopkeepers, tavern owners, they stood with fear and uncertainty, but with resolve and courage. And they set in motion a revolution that gave us our country and changed the world. Today, all across America, all across Massachusetts, we walk in their footsteps. We gather on town greens where the militia drilled. We vote in meeting houses where democracy found its voice. Massachusetts has led the way for freedom and progress in this country. It's more than our history, it's who we are, it's our DNA. And that's why I'm so proud to be your governor. It's because of the people and the spirit that I see in this state. I see it everywhere I go, in schools, hospitals, at senior centers and food pantries. The people of Massachusetts are tough, smart, and we care about each other. And in this moment, who we are has never been more important. Let me start with what's happening. The reality is that these are really tough times. People are feeling it. Everything's more expensive. Groceries, a cup of coffee, the new coat or boots you want, the hot water heater that you need, sports fees for your kids, dinner out once in a while. It's all so much harder now. I want you to know I get it. I think back growing up, I watched my grandmother cut coupons. I saw my mom late at night at the kitchen table with a stack of bills, worried sick about how she was going to pay them. But then you had a sense that if you worked hard, things were going to be okay. Right now, it doesn't feel that way. Fixing that and lowering costs should be the focus of every elected official in America. It's certainly mine. And Washington's only making things worse. We have a president who throws temper tantrums like a 2-year-old. No disrespect to 2-year-olds. He's driving up costs and prices with tariffs. He's cutting trillions of dollars out of healthcare, and Congress can't seem to do anything. Meanwhile, our seniors have to worry about food and heat. Veterans worried about their services getting cut off. LGBT families worried about their kids being targeted or bullied at school. And let me say something about ICE. The Trump administration right now is sending masked agents by the thousands into cities and states across America. A woman is dead, others have been shot, innocent people detained, mothers and fathers ripped out of their cars with their young kids tugging at their sides. Here in Massachusetts, we saw a high school student on the way to volleyball practice arrested. A college student going home to Texas for Thanksgiving, deported to Honduras, a country she hasn't lived in since she was a little kid. Now we have parents, of course, afraid to send their kids to school or to go to church or to see a doctor. This isn't right. I was a prosecutor and attorney general, and I can tell you, none of this makes us safer. It doesn't need to be this way. It needs to stop. Enough is enough. Look, people are feeling the fear and the heartache and the anguish. They see the chaos coming out of Washington every day. They're worried about their families, their job, their health care, their rights. But I have a message tonight. This is Massachusetts. We don't back down. We look out for each other. We stand for what we believe, and we will not change who we are ever. Let me tell you something about where we are and how we've handled things. Let me show you how Massachusetts has shown up in this challenging time. Remember when the federal government tried to take away vaccines? We wrote a vaccine prescription for everyone, and we had insurance pay for it. So now in Massachusetts, if you want a vaccine, you'll get one for free. When they cut research and took away hope, blocking cures for cancer, diabetes, and Alzheimer's, I said, no, we're going to put more dollars into science and research. People across the world have been saved by Massachusetts science, and that won't stop. While the president is raising costs on everything with tariffs, we work together with the legislature to cut taxes for middle-class families, make community college cost-free, and make school meals available to every child in the state. And we're focused every day on driving down costs for housing, for healthcare, for energy. When they took away abortion care, we stepped in and made sure that Planned Parenthood had the funding to keep going. And we passed the strongest protections in the country for patients and doctors and nurses who need that care. I'll never, never back down on your right to make your own healthcare decisions. And when Donald Trump froze SNAP benefits, taking food away from children and seniors, boy, did Massachusetts show up. We raised $7 million for food pantries. People and businesses across the state stepped up to help. Max and Chelsea Ritzy are here tonight. They run a restaurant in Watertown. They opened up their hearts, their kitchen, and they provided dinners for all their friends and neighbors. Thank you, Max and Chelsea, and thank you to everybody who took time to care for one another. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I want you to know that this year, my budget's going to increase funding for local food banks. We're making sure that people on the SNAP program get the benefits that they need. We're not going to let anyone go hungry in Massachusetts. That's what we did, because that's who we are. 250 years ago, we started a revolution. Today, while some turn their backs on liberty, Massachusetts stays free. In the face of efforts to divide us, Massachusetts stands united. And because we stay true to who we are, I can tell you tonight that the state of the Commonwealth is strong. You knew I was going to say that. You knew that I was going to say that. Every governor does. But I want you to know, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Look, I know we don't agree on everything. I'm looking out at you and I see a lot of people who don't agree with me on any number of things, okay? But I know that there are things that we all believe in, that we can all get behind. And now's the time to rally, unite, and get it done. We can work together. We can work together. And in this moment, part of my job as governor is to help us provide what the federal government isn't: stability, security, and how about a little common sense? My focus is you, what matters in your life. It starts with lowering costs and making life more affordable, making our schools even better for our kids, driving a strong economy that creates good jobs in every part of the state, making sure that you have safe neighborhoods, transportation you can count on, and healthcare that you can actually afford. So tonight, I want to share with you our next steps on our affordability agenda. It starts with housing. It's got to, because we've got to be a state where your teachers and your nurses and recent grads can afford to actually live. Now, here's what's happened. Look, if we want to take a hard look back and be honest with ourselves, here's what's happened, Massachusetts. The problem is we really haven't been building homes in a big way since the 90s. That's why prices and rents are so high. By the way, a lot of people have come here because it's such a great state since then. But there aren't enough homes around and available to meet the demand. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build more and build faster. Here's how we're going to do it. This year, we've been speeding things up already. You know, it used to take a year, over a year, to get an environmental approval for a housing project. We took that down to 30 days. We've got hundreds of acres of state property with abandoned or not used courthouses, hospitals, state offices, right? So we're going to take that land and turn it into homes. Since COVID, remote work is happening and cities have empty office space downtown. So we're turning them into apartments. And you want to know one of the quickest ways we're bringing homes online? Think about your garage, or if you got a little room out in your backyard. We've now given you the right to go out and build a place for your parent, or maybe your kid who just graduated. They're called accessory dwelling units, ADUs. And they're beautiful. And I'll tell you what, in a matter of weeks, you'll be able to go online, download your ADU design of choice, and we're even going to hook you up with a way to finance that construction at a low cost. How about that? Now, experts said that we had to build about 220,000 homes by 2035. I'm telling you right now, we're not just going to meet that, we're going to beat it. We have already, in 3 years, got 100,000 new homes going, built, permitted, or under construction, and more are on the way. Now, I know we got to be quick on this. Everybody's got to lean in. People are counting on it. Our economy is depending on it. I know, Massachusetts, together we can get this done. Now, while we build these homes, we've also got to help people afford their mortgages and their rents right now. For renters, we ban brokers' fees, saving thousands of dollars every time you move. We doubled the support we give seniors to help them with their housing costs. And for families, we all know that buying that first home is one of the toughest challenges you'll face. So we're doing more to help. Tonight, we're expanding a program that gives families $25,000 for a down payment on a home. We're expanding that. And 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 on top of that, we're expanding another program that lowers your interest rates and saves you a ton of money over the life of your loan. That's real money, and it makes a real difference. So for the thousands of families out there right now looking for housing, looking for that first home, help is on the way. Now I want to talk about energy. Bills are too high. Bills are way too high. People can't afford it. They're getting killed. They're getting crushed. I get that. I understand that. And I want you to know I am focused on that. Here's our plan. First of all, I'm going to oppose any big rate hike proposed by the utilities, okay? We're going to oppose that. It's not the time. People can't afford it. People can't afford it. That's number one. Number two, I filed an energy affordability bill, and that bill will get us more power, get costs down, and save ratepayers $13 billion. You see, our strategy, my strategy, is we need all of the above when it comes to energy. Wind, solar, hydro, gas, nuclear, whatever it takes to power our homes and our businesses and cut your costs. And I want you to know, because I know the pain that's out there, okay? I want people to know last week, good news, we flipped the switch on a hydroelectric line that right now is providing power to Massachusetts. It's coming from Canada, and it's gonna provide 20% of the electricity needs in Massachusetts. It's also gonna save us about $50 million. We can do this stuff, but we're gonna do more. We're gonna do more. This year, we're gonna go hard and deploy more solar, more wind, more transmission, more battery storage so that we have the energy that we need and so that costs can come down. And I wanna thank all the workers that are making that happen, building out all this stuff, electricians, carpenters, iron workers, painters, engineers, teamsters, and more. You got a lot of work to do, a lot of work ahead of you, but together we're gonna get this done. My legislation not only gets us more power, it gets it cheaper. Did you know that utilities aren't required to purchase power at the lowest price? It's crazy. So my bill changes that. It makes it so that utilities got to go out and purchase that energy at the lowest price. If it works for Wall Street, it damn well better work for ratepayers. We got to make that change. That's going to provide savings to ratepayers, lower your bills. Now, speaking of bills, there are a lot of charges. There are a lot of fees on our bills, aren't there? We see them. They got added piece by piece over many years. We're the administration that's taking them off. I've directed the utilities to justify every single line that's on your bill. Anything that's not helping you, we'll strike it. Folks, I just told you some things we're gonna do, and we are gonna do them. But I also know people need help now. It's January. We're heading into February and March, the coldest months of the year. So tonight, I'm announcing that in February and March, we'll cut your electric bills by 25% and your gas bills by 10%. Look, We're going to do it. Middle-class families need the breathing room. Everybody needs the breathing room, and they're going to get it. Now I want to talk about healthcare, okay? I don't know about you. It's really hard to get an appointment. Primary care, mental health, you name it. We also know it's incredibly expensive. Premiums have gone through the roof for people, for families, for businesses. But we're going to take action, and we are taking action here in Massachusetts. Last year, I was the first governor here to cap deductibles and copays. And then Donald Trump and the Republicans in Washington made premiums skyrocket and threatened people's coverage. Remember that debate over the last few months? Imagine you're in the middle of a cancer treatment and you lose your health insurance. Are you kidding me? So I'm proud of this legislature because years ago, we worked to make sure that people would be covered. So in the face of those threats, we, Massachusetts, were able to make the biggest commitment in the country to keep people's costs down and to keep them covered. 270,000 families. We took that action a month ago, and now 270,000 families and small business owners won't see a major spike in their bills. But we're not done. We're not done. How many of you have had this experience? You go in for something, your doctor tells you what's wrong, but whether you're prescribed medicine or a treatment, instead of getting that medicine or treatment, you gotta wait. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for some insurance company to tell you it's okay and that you're approved. This is bad. You lose days, weeks, sometimes months of care. In the meantime, you're making new appointments, you're taking more time off from work. It costs you money and it delays your care. Up until now, if you were a diabetic, you had to get what's called a prior authorization for insulin. And you had to get a prior authorization for the insulin pump. That's crazy. So we're changing that. Starting this year, you won't need a prior authorization from any insurance company to get the care you need. No more paperwork, no more waiting. If your doctor says you need it, you're gonna get it. Next, we're gonna ban medical debt, nasty medical debt, from being reported to credit agencies. It's bad enough. It's bad enough when you get a huge bill and you're dealing with an illness. But to have it wreck your credit on top of that, it's just not right. So we're not going to let that happen. And finally, I'm directing leaders from across all key sectors to come together to form a healthcare affordability working group. Healthcare is broken in America, and we can't wait for Washington to act. We're the state with the best healthcare. We're going to be the state to figure it out and fix it for our people. Now, high costs don't just come from inflation. It's not just housing and energy and healthcare. It's coming from all sides. Here's one. How about those streaming services and apps that we all love and sign up for? I don't know about you, but I look at my bank statement. It's $2.99 for this, $5.99 for this, $11.99 there. It all adds up, right? Month after month after month. They make it so easy to sign up, but so hard to cancel. Canceling a subscription should be just as easy as signing up. Let's make that a law in Massachusetts. That's real money. A.G. Campbell's done great work on the regulations to get us started. We got work to make your good work the law. And we're not going to stop there. Speaking of fixing things, let's talk about transportation. You know, when I took office, the T was a disaster, and we're turning it around. That started when I appointed a GM who actually knew what he was doing. And with Phil Eng on the job, the service and the vibes have never been better. All right. Yeah, Phil. Phil, we've gone from 220 slow zones down to 0. That's saving commuters time and money. We also made regional buses free statewide, added new ferry routes, and opened up 2 new lines on the commuter rail down to the South Coast. And we're just getting started. This year, we've got more trains running more frequently, and also we've expanded service at night and on the weekends. That's good stuff. And the pedal is to the metal, I promise you. And then, don't clap yet. And then there's traffic, okay? I'm sick of it. We're all sick of it. We sit on 93, 128, the Pike. Sometimes we drive miles around somewhere because a local bridge is closed and has been closed for 10 years. We fixed the slow zones on the T. We can fix these pinch points that cause congestion on our highways. I'm committed to that. Now, imagine the time back we'll get in our lives. And we've got, thanks to the legislature, an $8 billion plan to fix our broken transportation system. I want to tell you, I'm announcing tonight that we've got a program, ABC, Accelerating Bridge Construction. It's going to open up closed bridges and make repairs faster so people can get moving again. And we're going to do that all over the state. 27 bridges in Western Massachusetts alone. I've challenged my team to move as quickly as they can on all of this. How we get around and how quickly we get around or don't matters. It matters to people in their lives. It matters to our economy. We got to get this done, Massachusetts, and my team is committed to doing that. Now, here's something cool when we're talking about transportation. Earlier this year, we unveiled the brand new Bill Russell Bridge right down the street in Boston. Yeah. This year, we're going to honor another Celtics legend when we dedicate the new Bob Cousy Pass in his hometown of Worcester. Coos, I know you're watching tonight. I love you, and I can't wait to come out and take a ride together over that pass. Now let's talk about our economy. It's true, we're facing real headwinds. And as I said, we're looking at all the different ways to address them. We're trying really hard. There's certain things, folks, we know are beyond our control. We can't control inflation, but there are things that we can control. And I also want to say this. We have assets that any other state would trade for in a heartbeat. We got to remember that. Remember, Massachusetts, right now, we lead the country in education, in healthcare, innovation, in science. Oh, in championship sports teams too, and maybe we'll get another parade going shortly. We also lead in arts and culture and kick-ass musicians. We're joined tonight by Ken Casey, who is the Massachusetts Storyteller of the Year and the Dropkicks Murphys legend. We love you, Ken. Thank you for always standing up for what you believe in. Thank you for standing up for working people. Ultimately, though, the resource that really matters most is our talent, our people. And that's why when it comes to competing for jobs, my bet is always going to be on this state. Hasbro and Lego agreed. They moved their headquarters here. So did Alnylam, a global leader in life-saving gene therapies. They started at UMass Medical School, and now they've just built a brand new facility down in Norton, all built with good union jobs. And then there's Transmedics. This company's unbelievable. They've pioneered a way to deliver organ transplants at record speeds around the country. They turned down New Hampshire, and they decided to grow right here in Massachusetts. Now, can you feel my juices going? Yeah. You guys know Kim and I are a little competitive, okay? We're competitive, and we are so grateful to all of our employers. And we're working every day as partners to compete for those jobs and to bring business here. Right now, we're going toe-to-toe, not just with other states, but with other countries. And I want to promise you, we're going to go hard. We're not backing down. We're going to invest in the things that have brought us success, investing in economic engines in our state, research and science driven through the DRIVE Act, defense technology, quantum and AI partnerships, climate tech. There's so much to do and to take advantage of. We're supporting our entrepreneurs who we depend on for leadership and innovation. There's a reason, Massachusetts, that people come from all over the world to study here, to train here, to invest here, to start companies here. There's a reason, Massachusetts, we're a special place. We're going to lean into what's working, and we're going to lean into all the new things that we can take advantage of with the special talent and assets that we have here. And we're supporting our small businesses. Small businesses mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to a lot of families across our great state. This year, we cut 25% of business regulations to lower their costs, to make it easier for them to do what they do best. And we're just getting started. We want to make sure as we move forward and grow our economy here that everyone's able to benefit. These aren't just jobs and labs and offices. They're on construction sites and in classrooms, on factory floors. And we're opening these jobs up to people through apprenticeships. Apprenticeships, paid, hands-on training, and a direct path to a great career. Thanks, by the way, to the labor movement for creating this. We're going to invest in this. We're going to invest in this. We're going to invest in this. And over the next 10 years, we're going to have 100,000 apprentices. Yes, they'll be in the building trades, but also in nursing, early ed, advanced manufacturing, technology, whatever it takes, wherever talent is needed. We'll get more people into great careers and a workforce that meets the needs of our businesses. For me, that kind of growth, it starts with education. No state has done more. Massachusetts schools, for the first time in 8 years, are now ranked #1 in the national report card across all categories. Let me say that again. All categories, #1. But and thank you, Secretary Tutwiler, our educators, making this go. But as we applaud, I want you to know we're not resting. 2 years ago, I said we'd have universal pre-K in every gateway city. I said we'd do that by the end of 2026. You know what? We're going to do that ahead of schedule. We've also added 20,000 more childcare seats. That's a big deal for those little kids who need care and a big deal for their parents who can go to work. We know our kids struggled through COVID, right? We know that there are some things that we got to account for, make up for. And that's why we're making big investments in literacy and high-dose tutoring to close those gaps. And it's going to happen. This year, we're also going to have the best statewide high school graduation standard in the country. You know what it's also going to include? Financial literacy. Yeah. Look. We're going to. I'm glad we care about our kids, we care about education, and we will make sure that every student is ready to succeed, whether they're off to college, a career, a trade, or the military. I promise you, we're going to get that done. Thanks to the investments that we've made already, thousands of students took advantage of college or vocational pathways just this school year alone. We know that our early college program, which allows you to be in high school and take community college credits at the same time, has been an incredible opportunity for our kids. I was at a graduation ceremony back last year where a student was receiving their high school diploma and their associate's degree at the same time. How cool is that? So we want to lean into that opportunity. And I'm telling you tonight that I've set a target, 100,000 students in early college within the next 10 years in Massachusetts. We're going to help our kids reach their goals and save them money. Now, let me speak to you as someone who's got 2 teenagers at home. Something we all worry about is social media. Look, you, me, we all do our scrolling, right? TikTok, Insta, whatever floats your boat. And that's fun. And there's a time and a place for these things, right? Especially for our kids. It's driving so much anxiety. It's impacting self-esteem. These platforms, let's be serious. These platforms are built with addictive algorithms. They exploit our insecurities, especially our young people. So tonight, I'm proposing strict new requirements to protect our kids from the harms of social media, okay? Parental consent, age verification for all these platforms, and much more. We're going to require every company out there to take a hard look at this. We want to prevent social media companies from targeting our kids for profit. That's what's been going on all across this country. We got to change it here in Massachusetts. Parents, we're trying to protect our kids. We're trying to help our kids. We got to deal with this issue. Okay? We're a technology state. We love our technology. We invest in our technology. And we got to find a way to protect our kids. I know we can do it. Now, speaking of safety, there's no greater priority than keeping our people and our communities safe. In Massachusetts, we know how to do that. It's by supporting our state and local police. It's by partnering with them and building trust in communities. There's no question that we have the best law enforcement in the whole country. And we have the best first responders, too. Let me give you an example. One night in December, a Massachusetts State Police trooper responded to a difficult call. A man in distress had climbed to the top of the Tobin Bridge. Chelsea firefighters responded with a bucket truck. They lifted that trooper up. For 2 hours in the freezing cold, this trooper let that man who was suffering know that he wasn't alone. That trooper stayed with him, he talked with him, and ultimately he pulled them to safety. And I just want to thank Trooper Rasan Charles, who's with us tonight, for saving that man's life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing our law enforcement how appreciative we are. Also joining us tonight is Fall River Fire Chief Jeff Bacon. In July, our state suffered a terrible tragedy when the Gabriel House Assisted Living Facility caught fire. We pray for all those lost and injured on that day. We don't want anything like that to ever happen again. So we will implement new protections at all assisted living facilities in our state. I want to thank Chief Bacon, the firefighters, the police, the EMS who responded that night and saved lives. I want to thank you and all the firefighters for what you do to keep us safe every day. Speaking of heroes, we have a responsibility to our veterans. I took office after a terrible tragedy at the Holyoke Soldiers' Home during COVID. You remember 76 veterans who died? As AG, I investigated and prosecuted the people I thought were responsible. And when I became governor, I made it our mission to turn those veterans' homes around. We have. Now, both Chelsea and Holyoke are rebuilt, fully accredited and world-class, and I'm proud to say that Holyoke has achieved a perfect rating from the VA and is now one of the best veterans' homes in America. That's what our veterans deserve. That's what our veterans deserve. On the wall in my office, I have a portrait of a former governor, Samuel Adams. He and Paul Revere laid the cornerstone of this very building. But 20 years before that, none of this or American democracy was assured. January 24th, 1776, 250 years ago this Saturday, with Boston under armed siege and morale in some quarters wavering. On that day, Sam Adams wrote to a friend, "Never despair," he wrote. "That is a motto for you and me. All are not dead, and where there is a spark and a patriotic fire, we will rekindle it." And that's what they did, town by town across Massachusetts, lighting the way to a new nation. Never despair. That's a good motto for this moment. That's a good message right now. Because the year ahead is going to bring challenges, no doubt. It may get worse before it gets better. Okay? I'm being honest with you. But we will stand strong. We will work to do the right things. We together will make the right decisions for our state. We'll do what we have to do to make it better, and it will. I promise you, it will get better. We're gonna lead. We're gonna lead. We're going to lead celebrations of America's birthday this year with spectacular fireworks on the 4th. The World Cup will be here. The tall ships are coming back. People from all around the world are coming to and will be inspired by Massachusetts. But they won't be looking at Sam Adams or Paul Revere. They'll be looking at you. They'll be looking at us. As our nation faces new tests, Massachusetts will lead again as a place where everyone can be safe and have their rights protected, where if you work hard, you can afford to live. And people from around the world will look to us for learning, innovation, opportunity, and freedom. That's what we work for. That's what America needs at this moment. So once again, let it begin in Massachusetts. Let's kindle those sparks of patriotic fire. Let's light the beacon and show the way forward. God bless you. God bless the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you.
I will now ask Rabbi Elaine Zecher, Senior Rabbi at Temple Israel, Boston, to come up to the podium, the rostrum, please, to offer our benediction for the evening. Rabbi.
A blessing for the search of true kindness. Holy One of blessing, your presence fills all creation. We stand before you, we who are divinely inspired, yet human-powered, in pursuit of a compassion-filled world. We have a long way to go. We surely know of pain caused by the mistreatment of the stranger, the vulnerable, those without safety and security. So much that is heartbreaking and heart-wrenching challenges our stability. When much has been lost, what remains is kindness, sacred and humane, everlasting and eternal, and always available as a balm of despair. Help us, O God, to stand strong, to turn toward that which reaches further than ourselves. Help us to discover a path forward illuminated by the grace of goodness toward one another. Small gestures of kindness offered without the expectation of recognition make the difference. Kindness given unconditionally has the power to transform unconditionally. That's what makes it true. We are mere human beings touched by the sacred. How can it be that we are created in your image and we are not all the same? We are a varied kaleidoscope of humanity, dignified by our difference, woven together by a sacred thread. Teach us, O God, to activate our capacity to respond with kindness, even with those whom we disagree. Your mercy and loving kindness inspire us to consider how we care for one another, how we disturb our complacency to see that each person carries your divinity, even when it is difficult, even when we would rather look away. Let us not stand idly by. Move us, Holy One of blessing, in the presence of one another in this chamber, those who have devoted their lives to service of others as a civic responsibility, to be the bridge between heaven and earth. Together, we demonstrate the potential of each person's capacity to bring goodness to one another. We have learned leadership can mean tending to one's flock like a shepherd. The psalmist called you a shepherd. It may not be possible to stand before a flock and expect everyone to obey or to agree. Yet leading from within, as a shepherd must do, can move everyone forward. And it is watching out for those on the outside exposed to danger that ensures their safety. May our governor feel your presence, lifting her in difficult moments and celebratory ones too. May our kindness surround her, hold her, and strengthen her. May Governor Healey's compassion inspire others, and may it flow from the hands and hearts of those who reside in our glorious Commonwealth to be active partners in our shared work to bring God's mercy to life, and in doing so, to bring life to each other. So may it be. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Zecher, for those beautiful words. The chair would ask all members and guests to remain seated while the Sergeant at Arms escorts the governor, the lieutenant governor, the constitutional officers, the executive counselors, and our distinguished guests from this chamber. Thank you. From Boston, Mr. Collins moves that the joint convention do now adjourn. All those in favor say aye, opposed no. The ayes have it, and the joint session stands adjourned. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you.
The House stands adjourned to meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. in an informal session.